Hey, what's up guys? Today I want to show you how to remove the panoramic sunroof motors, and I will present you a few things that might help you to make your sunroof work again. First, let's remove this control panel, but before that, make sure that you have clean hands and clean tools if you care about your interior and you want to keep it clean. So use some plastic tool to pry out this large light cover. There is a small indentation over here. Place your plastic tool and press inwards like that. In here you will see two white tabs. Press them inwards towards the front and pry out the control panel from one side. Just hold it like that. And the second one. One of the situation can be after you replace the battery. Let's say, for example, the cover of the glass is open like that. When you reconnect the battery, the control panel will believe this cover is closed when in reality is opened. Therefore, will send power to the right motor to open the cover when in reality is not necessary and is not possible. So instead of switching over and send power to the second motor, to the left motor, the control panel will send power to the right motor, and you will hear a click and you will think that the motor is bad. To verify that, you can visually inspect the motor when pressing on the switch, and you will see how the rotor tries to rotate. If this happens in most of the situations, it means it's just a matter of bad synchronization of the switches inside the panel. One thing you can do is to manually close both roofs. Use a T25 and insert it into the bolt which is supposed to be rotated by the motor, and you can manually twist and you will slowly close the panel. Now you can either go and disconnect the negative terminal of the battery or unplug all these connectors on the control panel, and once you connect back the battery or connect back the connectors, the switches inside the control panel should be resynchronized. Next, let's say when you press on the button and nothing happens, try to hold the button on each direction for 30 seconds and it might resynchronize. Of course, you have to do that when the key is in the second position. After you try this and you still cannot get any response and you don't hear any clicking noise from the motors, you can go ahead and check the fuse number 9 from the back of the car. It's a 25 amps fuse, white color. In my situation it was burned, and replacing it actually fixed the issue. Next, you can check as well for voltage on each motor to verify if there is input voltage sent from the control unit to the motors. You can back probe these two wires on the bottom. It's a purple and green one. Try to have a good connection in there, because these two wires are responsible for sending power to the motor for the cover, not for the window. So again, the right motor will open the cover and the left motor will open the sunroof, the glass roof. If there is no power sent to the motors, it's very likely to be a broken control panel. As you can see, when I open the cover, the polarity is right. When I close it, fortunately for you and unfortunately for me, right now it happened a desynchronization of the motors. I can open the sun glass, but I cannot open the cover of it. Oh, there we go, I can close it now. So you can see sometimes it makes problems. So here is what I'm pressing on. You can see sometimes it gets stuck for absolutely no reason. I suspect the control panel is broken or there is some sort of switching problem. There is no point to open it because there are no parts to change on this. You have to replace the whole unit. Now, to further check if the motor works, I'm talking about the cover motor, go ahead and unplug the white connector. I'm going to use this type of pliers. I'm going to catch on the connector and pull it out. On the same wires, apply 12 volts to the motor and you should close or open the sunroof cover. You will have to disconnect the connector from the panel in order to prevent short circuits. So I'm going to go ahead and back probe these two wires, and I'm going to use a 12 volt battery. I'll just simply connect it on the probes, and there we go, it opens right now. Now, if I reverse the polarities, the motor should close the cover. You can see over there how the nut it spins. So here we go. This is a confirmation that you don't have to replace the motor, and most likely the control unit is bad or you have a bad fuse. You can do the same on the second motor. You will have to disconnect the white connector over here. I'm just gonna put my pliers and try to pry out the connector like that. Again, you have to do this with the connector off in order to not short circuit the control panel or other things. Let's see if the sunroof glass opens, and it does. That's a 100% confirmation that the motor doesn't need to be replaced and it works as it should. So let's say you cannot get 12 volts from the control panel to the motors and nothing happens, or you apply 12 volts direct to the motor and still nothing happens, then that's a clear confirmation you have to replace the motor which doesn't work. In order to do that, you'll have to remove the roof cover. I will begin with the sun visor. There are two T20 bolts over here, and the sun visor is off. Next, I will pry out this light, and here you will have a connector. I will just unplug it like that. On the sun visor support, there is a plastic flap. Just open it like so, and again use a T20, and the plastic case comes out together with the bolt. Now on the handle there are two plastic pins which basically you have to remove them. So just pry them out a little bit like that. Then with a flathead screwdriver try to pull them out like that from the side, from this side over here, and it comes out. It's just a plastic pin, as you can see. I'm gonna do the same on the other one. These are kind of locking pins. There are two holes over here, the large one for the pin, and next to it is a small hole like that. So I have to pry it in this direction like that. Next, go ahead and pull out the mirror. You just have to pull it very hard downwards and it will come out. So don't be afraid to break it. It will not break, it will just come out, as I will show you in a second. So here you can see the system is a spring which basically pushes this pin and this pin outwards, and then it comes into this bracket over here. And remove this bracket as well. There are 3 bolts. Alright, from this point try to move the cover so you'll have space over here to work on. Now you can simply pull the cover downwards. You have to disconnect it from here as well, like so. Now while you push this cover, you can see the motors down there. They are similar. Each motor is held on by 3 bolts. So with a T25 and a wrench, begin to undo the bolts. So the motor comes out. Here it is. Here is the part number if you need it. Now inside here there is a plastic wheel which connects the motor with that rotor. I'm gonna use the T20, and inside here you'll find the plastic wheel. I'm going to install back the motor. You can see the motor has some rubber gasket in order to absorb the shocks. So if you get any noise when you try to open or close the sunroof, you might want to inspect these gaskets. Once the motor is installed and tightened in, so I tightened the bolts at 7 foot-pounds, I will install back this roof cover. Next is the handle. Now I'm going to install back this light. Once all the connectors are plugged in, I can place back this unit. Next, the mirror bracket. I press the mirror on, and finally I will install this light cover, and the job is done. The sunroof opens, the glass roof opens as well, all the way. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.